All right, guys, I'm in the next part of this video. Oh, I went the wrong way. Let's keep going forward. All right, so something else you want to go ahead and write down is that an x-intercept is also known as a zero, okay? An x-intercept is also known as a zero. You want to write that down for sure. That's because the value of y, or the value of the function, f of x is 0 at the x-intercept. So 0 is just another name for x. That's really all you need to know from this part here. Now, how many zeros does a linear function have? The same number of x-intercepts that a linear function has, which is 1, okay? Every time your zeros and your x-intercepts, you're only going to have 1 for a linear function. So you want to write those two things down. 0 is another name for x-intercept, and you can only have 1 0 on a linear function. All right, let's do some more practice. Go ahead and pause this video and see if you can find the x-intercept and the 0 for these two equations. All right, let's see if you did this correctly. For an x-intercept, my coordinate looks like this. It looks like a number and 0. So that means that my y is the 0 part. So my y cancels, and I'm left with 4x equals 7, which means divide by 4 to solve for x. X equals 7/4. Now, I can't leave that as my final answer, though. I shouldn't have boxed that, because it should be 7/4, comma 0 as my final answer. This is what we want. All right, let's move on to the next one. The next one asks us to find the 0. 0 is the same thing as x-intercept. And x-intercept, I have a number and 0, and the y is 0. So y cancels. Now I'm only left with 4x equals 18. Let's divide by 4. X equals 9/2. But don't circle that because we want to write this as a coordinate. 9/2, comma 0. Notice how easy this is, guys. Just plug in that number and then solve for that letter that you're wanting to solve for. That's how you get these x and y intercepts by hand. All right, so now the question is, what if I'm given a table? If I'm given a table, how am I going to find my x and y intercept? All right, guys, so if I'm trying to get my x and y intercept from this table, what I want to do first is find my slope, okay? So my slope here, my change in y is -3. My change in x is +1. So then my slope is -3/1, which is -3. Now, the reason this is important is because I was at -2 here, -1. What's the next number in my list of numbers? It would be 0. Well, then I know if my pattern is subtract 3 on my y's, my next number, I just need to do 15 minus 3. And that's going to give me 12, which makes my equation y equals mx plus b. If my y-intercept is 12, my m is -3x equals y. That's my equation. Now, this is going to help me to find my x-intercept. I've already found the y-intercept. The y-intercept is 0, 12. But they still wanted me to get the x. So how do I get the x? An x-intercept, we said the part of the coordinate that's 0 is your y. So I need to make my y 0, -3x plus 12. And then solve this for x. So subtract 12. -12 equals -3x. Divide by -3. X equals 4. So that made my x-intercept 4, 0. All right, guys, so here is today's check for understanding. Number 1 is going to be a multiple choice. You got that equation down at the end, y equals 1/2 x minus 2. And then I'm giving you all of these different attributes. What I want you to decide is which of them is true about that equation. Is the slope negative? Is the y-intercept -2? Is the x-intercept 4? And is the domain all real numbers? So make that decision and then pick the answer choice that has all the true statements. Number 2, I want you to find the coordinates of the x and y intercept for this equation here. Pull that up here. You got -6 equals 4y minus 22. So I want you to find the x and y intercepts, all right? If you have any questions, as always, just let me know.